Well, it's just gone 9 o'clock Central African time. This is BTV News. We are broadcasting live from the nation's capital, Gaborone. I'm Ulibile Samoka. Let's take a look at stories making headlines. President Advocate Boko back home from a working visit to Mozambique. South African government to honor BOTSWANA liberation icon Fish Keitseng with a monument.
And in sport, the FNB Botswana Golden Grand Prix ramped up excitement today to boost the ticket sales ahead of the event penned for April 12. And that is Jose Mori joining us later on our sport desk. Mantlababili is interpreting in sign language. Welcome and thank you for joining us. Now in our first story, President Advocate Boko has this afternoon arrived back home on board his presidential jet OK1. While in Mozambique, President Boko held official talks with his Mozambican counterpart, Mr. Daniel Chapo, on bilateral, regional and multilateral issues of common interest. Following the talks, President Boko said that more emphasis will be put on infrastructural development, trade in fuel, among other sectors that can drive the economy of the two countries. Botswana is also looking at taking advantage of Mozambique's port to facilitate regional trade. In a bid to industrialize, Botswana government is exploring access to Mozambique's ports, notably the Nacala port, to facilitate trade. This port is the deepest port in southern Africa and currently serves landlocked Malawi with a 931-kilometer railway. Mozambique boasts of state-of-the-art ports that facilitate trade in the region as well as with Middle Eastern Asia. Protama Tabapiri was there.
Government of Botswana's aspirations of achieving economic freedom for its citizens is evident as the grant has already been laid on countries like Mozambique, who boast of state-of-the-art ports which facilitate trade in the Southern African region as well as Middle Eastern Asia. Meanwhile, Botswana's quest to industrialize has led President Boko to deepen relations with Mozambique and explore access to its ports, notably Nacala Port, to enjoy the benefits of importing and exporting through the port.
We commit ourselves to strengthening the existing volumes of trade in fuel between Botswana Oil and Petróleos de Mozambique, sitting now at 132 million liters. We have indicated we must raise it to 240 million liters. We have some work to do. Absolutely necessary, absolutely vital for our countries.
Tripartite agreement between Botswana, Zimbabwe and Mozambique, and it is our responsibility to continue with this project. Also, that's why we spoke about this project, and we think that is a very important project for Botswana, Mozambique and Zimbabwe, and it is our responsibility as the leaders of these countries to continue with this agreement that was signed in 2024 in Maputo with the presence of the three presidents.
In an effort to identify strategic sectors which are key to revitalize the economies of these two countries, President Chapo said both countries have a potential to boost trade in the tourism sector.
As you know, Botswana has got conservation tourism, very important for our continent, but it is an interland country, and we have our beaches, our islands, and we got a very coast that is very important, and we think that we can join it together with the private sector and we work together.
We will work together in the area of tourism, as Mr. President has so ably indicated, to ensure that we offer a hassle-free travel experience between these two countries.
President Advocate Boko ends his working visit in Mozambique today by touring the Maputo Gas Combined Cycle Thermoelectric Power Plant in Maputo Port. Tlotlam Matlabapiri, BTV News, Nacala, Mozambique.
The High Commissioner of South Africa to Botswana, Ms. Taninga Shope-Soma, says her government holds in high regard the sacrifices made by Botswana in South Africa's liberation struggle. Speaking at the Keitseng Memorial Lecture in Gaborone on Friday, she shared how the South African government remains committed to erect a monument in memory of the late Mr. Keitseng, who was one of the defendants of the 1956 treason trial in South Africa. Keitseng, who was a Botswana trade union activist and politician, was born in 1919, died on the 28th of March 2005. Solofelo Tombale has more.
On the 20th anniversary of his death, March 28, the Keitseng Trust held the inaugural Keitseng Memorial Lecture to remember the life of Ntwaisile Keitseng. It was at the lecture where the South African government, which has long considered Keitseng and other Botswana that fought for their liberation from apartheid as heroes, reiterated their previously announced pledge to join hands with Botswana to erect a monument to him.
Together with the Botswana government, we are in the process of erecting a monument at the Keitseng home in Lubatse. It has taken a long time as there have been a number of changes in the ministries in both Botswana and South Africa. We have, however, already held a meeting with the new Minister of Environment and Tourism here in Botswana to plead that we accelerate the erection of such monument.
Mr. Keitseng's legacy as a leading figure not just in the African National Congress, but also in the Botswana National Front was celebrated.
In 1963, he met Kenneth Koma in Moscow. When Koma was a student in Moscow, they met and discussed about the political situation in Botswana in Moscow in 1963. And when Kenneth Koma came home in 1964, that's when People's Party was having some fissures. They met again. And Keitseng by that time was a member of the BIP led by Mozambique, and he joined Kenneth Koma when they were meeting in Muchudi, presided over by Kosi Chifilintri, to form PNF.
If there is one thing what he will never forgive, or he will never forgive Rekoma over, was because Rekoma stole his brightest stars. And that included Ray Keitseng. Because he was shaped by the BNF.
The fruits of these liberation giants are forever enjoyed, generations after generations. However, without proper recognition, research and education, the history of the struggle shall forever be buried in the annals of history and the backrooms of our libraries.
Keitseng's contribution to politics and trade unions will continue to be revered here in Botswana and across the border in South Africa, where he is also held in high regard for fighting for the rights of the marginalized people. Solofelo Tombale, BTV News, Gaborone.
The Western High Crime Prevention Committee has vowed to hold annual child welfare workshop to help tackle gender-based violence, which they believe is linked to cultural norms in their area. They shared this during a recent workshop with different institutions dealing with gender-based violence in the area. Lisa Komokaisi compiled this one.
The Western High Crime Prevention Committee plans to have a workshop every year where they educate their community members on issues of gender-based violence. And this year, they are focusing on child welfare as they've realized that they have high development cases, something they believe it might be caused by lack of knowledge and their cultural belief.
Statistics really today, this super tatabo me lebana. So kolojamba na baba sita. Elebo ne baba meha. Baitewa. Even
our statistics shows that majority of the people who are being abused are girls and women. They are being beaten, they are killed, and they are raped. And we know we have to work together as a team to fight these crimes. We register high development cases in Western High. Children as young as 15 years are getting pregnant, and no one will come from outside and help us. We have to stop this. Some of the organizations that helps combat GBV that attended the workshop shared with the community members. The main problem is that the parents are not coming forward to report development cases, but Each and every month, my office record a case where a child has dropped from school due to pregnancy. There is also child labor in this area. We take our children and let them desert school and go and work at the farms. Even if it's not your child, it is not wrong to come forward and report such cases to us. We should stop looking at children as people who can be turned into wives and start treating them like our own babies. This year's workshop was held under the theme, My Child, If Sinners Entice You, Turn Back on Them. BTV News, West Hanahai.
The Minister of Local Government and Traditional Affairs, Mr. Keitseng, says the proposed decentralization policy will reorganize and empower local authorities to deliver services more effectively and efficiently. As he made these remarks in Lobatse during a consultative meeting with the councillors, he outlined how this will also give locals a chance to help shape the delivery of services. Pelpuduhudu has more.
According to government, the overall goal of the National Decentralization Policy is to promote equitable and sustainable development and improve citizens' participation by transferring decision-making powers and resources to local governments. This will also ensure citizens participate in financing and implementation of all local development and service delivery activities.
Will guide overall service delivery.
Molawana wa tsamaiso wa go amogana ditiro le dikhansele o tla kaela go isiwa ga ditlamelo kgotsa ditirelo ka kakaretso go gokaganya le go tokafatsa tsamaiso ya puso ya batho ka batho ga mmogo le go rotloetsa go nna le seabe ga batho mo tlhabololong ya lefatshe.
And essential services to the people to deliver services more effectively and efficiently, and for citizens to have a stronger voice in the public decisions made.
Lobatse town councillors appreciated the policy, saying it will enable them to create policies aimed at improving the lives of Botswana and ensuring high quality service delivery. We believe that for us to solve people's problems and take services to them, the council should be given a chance to make decisions without asking for permission somewhere else.
Re marapo a gore re tse ditshwetso ka bonako re sa lebe go go bope kana re sa kope di kgang dingwe go ga borone
di sa rena mo gompienong yana ke tsene gore di tloka gore di reviwe di lebelwe sentle re hetole ha ileng gore re bona gore
the current policies need to be reviewed for us to deliver better services to the public. In Lobatse, there are certain things that needs to be changed, and if we are given a chance to make decisions, Lobatse will change to be a better town.
It's going to be a good thing.
Minister Mosewa has encouraged the councillors to make inputs and support the proposed decentralization policy before it is finalized. Pel Puduhudu, BTV News, Lobatse.
You're watching BTV News. Thank you for staying with us. Now moving on, the Assistant Minister of Justice and Correctional Services, Mr. Augustine Nyatanga, has encouraged cooperation amongst inmates and prison officers to illuminate and enhance the integrity of the penal institutions. Mr. Nyatanga highlighted this in Molepolole as part of his national tour of prison facilities. Thank you, Sitso, with more.
After his interaction with the prison inmates, the Assistant Minister, Mr. Nyatanga, had a meeting with the prison staff to appreciate their strategies in improving their service delivery, thus upholding the brand of the organization. They stated that among the things they intend to do is to help the government on the quest to attain food security. We should transform our thinking. For instance, if we are speaking of livestock farming, maybe we can ask for land and look for quality breeds and commercialize our production. If we can do that, I would say we are on the right path.
tla go wena ke gore a ke re mo nameng ya 300,000 le mo tendering 100,000 je mo coverile ka dikgomo tse ne ke di tlhabile e be di fiwa magolego ke ka gore a ke re kgogong ke a teng
400 hectare farm mara batla go itsewe ka dikgomo tsa mashi.
I've heard that your farm is 400 hectares. What area do you want to excel in? Is it dairy production, pig farming, chicken production, or crop production?
Efficiencies. We want to come up with interventions in order that are going to make an impact.
The staff decried lack of transfers as one of the issues they are facing. One of our concerns is staying in the same station for a long time. Perhaps it's one of the reasons why we end up not getting promoted, because we lack morale. Since we are stuck in one place, we believe a new environment would inspire and motivate us.
We are going to give priority on a station very, very remote.
We're going to give priority to Tani, Bainsdrift, because they are remote and life there is challenging. For example, Bainsdrift is remote. It doesn't even have a school.
Because
one of the volunteers in the community for the reintegration initiative shared that the program is effective.
We've received since Lenana already about 5 ex-offenders.
Since the inception of this initiative, we have received 5 ex-offenders, and so far none of them is returned to prison. And when we check on them, we realize that they are either working, running a small business, or engaged in activities which can improve their lives. Meanwhile, the assistant minister applauded the prison staff for their passion and good work and encouraged them to carry on with that spirit to attain excellence. Thank you, Sintu. BTV News. Mulepolole.
Technofem Chief Executive Officer Dr. Mohammed Ched has urged government and private institutions to adopt and leverage on technical and vocational education and training, as well as science, technology, engineering, arts and mathematics as the pillars for economic transformation. Dr. Ched said leveraging on TVET will help in reducing the current unemployment crisis as the world is moving towards that direction. He said this when giving a keynote address at the end of the 2025 Botswana Human Resource Development Skills Fair and Career Clinics, which ended on Friday at a fairground holding in Gaborone.
TVET doesn't only truly deliver transformation, but it also changes how we seem to perceive it. As mentioned earlier by Doc, it's not about building, teaching how to build a house or how to do carpentry, but there's so many other vocational trainings that are out there that can be used as strong skills. These training institutions need equipment, mentorship, industrial attachments, and overall just partnership. The fair is about to end, but our support should not. It should be a beginning of a new lasting collaboration with the education sector and how we can enhance and help the youth of today by giving them valuable insights about different businesses, about different skills, and being a mentor is something that I feel every youth sort of needs or guidance. So I think everyone in this room can possibly help or contribute towards that.
Now, in international news, Gavi, an international vaccine alliance, has not received a notice from the U.S. to cut over $1 billion in funding pledged to the organization. The New York Times reported that Donald Trump's administration intends ending its grant. Gavi, which buys critical vaccines for developing countries, has helped immunize over half the world's children against infectious diseases. If the U.S. cuts its funding, 1 million young people could die. Health experts warn that cutting Gavi's funding will cost the world more money and reverse 25 years of gains made in the fight against deadly diseases. Pato Khosimore on standby to give you the sport news.
Thank you very much, Olivile Samoka. Welcome to the last edition of Botswana Tonight Sports segment. You're still with me, Tato Khosimore. Here's our leading story. Thabo Maponda and Tatone Khamanyani's second half late goals ensured that Gaborone United secured maximum points as they crushed Security Systems 2-0 in the FNB Premiership League match played this afternoon at Gaborone United Stadium. Moyahole 12 wins leave them in position 2 with 42 points, while the Alarm Boys occupies a 13th spot with 19 points after their 11th loss. Let's take a look at the highlights of the match.
CCTV. Arabone Sheki. Mohoma Ponda. Messi Khamanyane. Wash. Amane tefata jalo 3 points. Osalamo BPSC for Gaborone United.
It's a game that we are playing with a lot of caution. And we can understand that because we haven't been doing well. They are always thinking about what if. And it's something that we try by all means to try and talk to them, guys. Let's believe in ourselves. Let's go forward. But we at least we could have got a point from this game. But it's water under the bridge. We'll go and back and regroup.
We expected a game like this. The same problems like previous matches. We didn't score at time, and after we had a lot of difficulties, they started trust more and they play good in defense and low block. Also wasted a little bit more time. So, but this is part of the game, and yes, we score in the last minutes. Maybe we had luck, but we were searching for this luck 90 minutes. I think that we were a better team today. Ball control was good, confidence was not bad, but in the box we were not clinic.
In other FNB Premiership League matches played this afternoon, Orapa United came back from a goal down to force a 1-1 draw with Jwaneng Galaxy in Jwaneng. Extension Gunners defeated Nico United 1-0 at Samsono Stadium in Silibepikwe. Moving on with our sports update, the Nghabe International Marathon Association, in partnership with Maun Track and Field Club and the Mega Minds Beyond Intelligence, have launched the Nghabe International Marathon, an annual event that aims to attract athletes from around the world. Maun Track and Field Chairperson Mr. Ralph Lidimum highlighted that the introduction of this event follows the recognition that most professional athletes hail from Ngamiland, saying this event is therefore mandated to unleash talent in the region. Marata Kaisara reports.
Mr. Lidimo says the International Marathon will contribute towards the development of the Ngamiland area, which is also a tourism hub, as it will attract competitors from across the world. He says the event will encourage infrastructural development.
A lot of visitors on a yearly basis coming to.
We will be having visitors crowding Maung on a yearly basis. This will benefit local tourism operators such as hotels, guest houses and lodge managers. The attraction of outsiders into our region will also encourage the government to maintain our infrastructure.
Infrastructure development. Some of them had
international event.
As this is an international event, we urge sponsors to invite quality international athletes to inspire and motivate our local athletes into performing better so that they are able to join world championships in future.
The qualifies world championships, the world half marathons, the world marathons.
In his remarks, Khosi Tsupegetso Bontsibokai praised the establishment of this marathon. Let us all go and invite others to grace this event. I will also invite my 4 social clubs to register and participate at the marathon.
Re kwaletse batho ba le bantsi, re kwaletse dikomponi ka bontsi, re kwaletse maphata ka bontsi mo kgaolo yone yang ga beibote.
We pleaded with a lot of people, companies and departments in Ngamiland region to join us, not only to sponsor us, but to partner with us. The event will also need hawker services throughout that day.
They will need their services throughout the day, throughout the 2 hours.
The first ever Habe International Marathon competition will be held in Maung on the 28th of September, and it will attract competitors from various categories, including the veterans, people living with disabilities, corporates, men and women, as well as children aged 6 and above. The marathon will comprise of 42 kilometer, 21 kilometer, 10 kilometer, and 5 kilometer races. Mareta Gaisara, BTV Sport, Maung.
In conclusion, the FNB Botswana Golden Grand Prix ramped up excitement today with a lively activation at Gaborone bus rank, aiming to boost ticket sales and build anticipation ahead of the event scheduled for April 12 at the National Stadium in Gaborone. The 2025 edition will showcase elite athletes from across the globe delivering world-class competition. Among the star-studded lineup will be Africa's finest, among them Mary Jose Talou of Cote d'Ivoire, Kenya's Ferdinand Omanyala, South Africa's Akani Simbini, and the Wade van Niekerk. International legends like Canada's Andre de Grasse and the Jerome Blake, as well as 200 Olympic champion Litsile Tebogo, will also take the stage, promising a spectacular showdown. With the countdown underway, all eyes are on Gaborone for an unforgettable athletics event.
Re bone go tshwanela gore re temo bus ranking gore re kgone go tisa molaetsa re te go activate re bolele batswana ka lebelo la rona le tebeng le le ko National Stadium ka di 12 as we are aware our main sponsor ke FNB.
Our primary objective in visiting the bus rank is to engage with the public and expand our customer base. Recognizing the bus rank as a high traffic area, we aim to attract attention from many people passing through, while also reaching out to those who may not have the opportunity to visit our offices yet.
It's part of World Athletics, so re leka go reach out to motswana mongwe le mongwe. As you know, the bus rank is busy, traffic I think is just too much.
As FNB Botswana, re bone go le botlhokwa gore re join a sponsorship isena or come on board as it aligns with our philosophy, which is shared prosperity. It's not just the FNB Global, the FNB Grand Prix area supportang. We also support the FNB Premiership. We also support grassroots development, which is the FNB, the mayors, jalo jalo. And then in the end, I would just like to say that the sponsorship is not just about banking and us positioning our products and services. It also supports the tourism industry. Botswana is now on a global state. In addition to that, and lastly, it also supports the SME space, stating that stadium jalo.
That's how we wrap up Botswana Tonight sports segment this Saturday evening. Thank you very much for the privilege of your time. Before we part ways, let's take a recap of our leading stories.
President Advocate Boko back home from a weekend visit to Mozambique. South African government to honor Botswana liberation icon Fish Keitseng with a monument.
And in sport, the FNB Botswana Golden Grand Prix ramped up excitement to boost the ticket sales ahead of the event planned for April 12.
Well, that is all the news we had for you this Saturday. Stay with us, where up next, followed by Eye on SADC.
Good evening. Welcome to tonight's weather forecast. I am Obakeng Caspar Matag. We're still having some showers in some part of Kalahari district, and this morning at 8 a.m. we recorded 3 millimeters at Tsabong Meteorological Station. The current satellite picture is still showing some clouds visible over most parts of our country. Even on Sunday, we're expecting partly cloudy conditions the entire country, with isolated thunder showers in Kalahari and southern district. In the morning, warm temperatures are expected over most parts of our country, ranging from 17 degrees Celsius in Good Hope up to 19 degrees Celsius in Mau. In the afternoon, over Ngamiland, Chobe and Northern Central, we're expecting hot temperatures of 33 degrees Celsius in Letlhakane up to 35 degrees Celsius in Mau. Elsewhere, warm temperatures are expected, which should be ranging from 29 degrees Celsius in Gaborone up to 32 degrees Celsius in Francistown, Khanzi, as well as in Middle Beats. Looking at some cities in SADC over Manzini and Johannesburg, we're expecting partly cloudy conditions with possibility of showers. For Maseru, Gqeberha and Cape Town, we're expecting partly cloudy conditions. In Upington, clear skies are expected, with a maximum temperature of 26 degrees Celsius in Gqeberha and 23 degrees Celsius in Johannesburg. For Antananarivo and Beira, we're expecting partly cloudy conditions. Even for Harare, Lusaka, and Windhoek, we're expecting partly cloudy conditions, but with possibility of some showers. Looking into Dar es Salaam, Blantyre, Luanda, and Kinshasa, we're expecting partly cloudy conditions with possibility of some showers, with a maximum temperature of 26 degrees Celsius in Blantyre and 29 degrees Celsius in Kinshasa. That's the weather. Have yourself a good night.
Coming up in this edition of Eye on SADC, Botswana signs agreement that will transform SADC Parliamentary Forum. Tanzania's president says 2023-24 government audit report reflects the efforts made by government.